Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and today we're going to look at the top 5 dumbass things from MTV's Decoded in 2016. Before we get to Franny, this video is brought to you by me being fired from my job. I'm not happy with how they did it, but I don't blame my former employer for letting me go 3 days after Christmas. I haven't been able to work in 10 months and I have no idea if I'll ever be able to work again, so I understand and hold no ill will. Frankly, I kind of expected it sooner. But that does make YouTube my only job. I'm not telling you this for sympathy, I'm just explaining why I've turned into such a YouTube whore with longer videos, more ads, and now, official Ranting Monkey merchandise. Merchandising was something I always considered doing, and since people have been asking for them, I was planning on making these anyway, but losing my job lit a fire under my ass. Now you can show your support and look sexy as hell with the official Your Life Makes Me Sad t-shirt. Or grab a mug and start your day with coffee and me. The link is in the description. Now back to Decoded. When I decided to make a top 5 list of the dumbest Decoded videos, I thought it would be pretty easy. I forgot just how moronic and or racist all of their videos are. Let's be honest, you can't make a list of Franchesca Ramsey's dumbest moments and be in any way wrong. So while I did want to limit it to 5, before we get into the official list, we have 2 honorable mentions.
There's a war going on out there, and we need warriors. Social justice warriors! Maggot! Are you ready to promote social justice, acceptance, and tolerance?
Yes, sir!
What did you call me?
Yes, ma'am!
You don't want to try that again?
Yes! Gender-neutral pronoun!
There may be hope for you yet, maggot!
Franchesca started 2016 with a bang. On January 6th, she uploaded a parody of social justice indoctrination training. It was supposed to be funny in that MTV we wouldn't know humor if it bit us on the ass kind of way, and if it had been made by an anti-social justice warrior, it would have been a great parody. That it was presented as a parody yet perfectly mimics the indoctrination tactics of the radical left shows a lack of self-awareness that almost got it in the top 5. It only missed the list because it's missing Franny's signature racism.
Is PC culture destroying freedom of speech? Nope.
3 weeks later, on January 27th, Franny again almost made it into the top 5 with a video asking if political correctness is ruining free speech, and again just barely missed it due to her lack of signature overt racism.
From YouTube comments to presidential candidates, it seems a lot of people think freedom of speech is under attack. And who, might I ask, is to blame? The goddamn PC culture. If you've ever called out racism, sexism, ableism, or any other oppressive-ism, you've probably been accused of being too PC. PC is, of course, short for politically correct. Political correctness is avoiding words or behaviors that exclude, marginalize, or insult groups of people who are socially disadvantaged or discriminated against. Basically, treating people with respect. Now, if you ask me, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. But a recent poll by Fairleigh Dickinson University found that 68% of Americans and 81% of Republicans agreed that a big problem this country has is being politically correct. Even 62% of Democrats polled agreed that being PC was getting out of hand. For these folks, political correctness is synonymous with weakness or being overly sensitive. Similar to the new term social justice warrior, calling someone PC is a way to derail and dismiss conversations about inequality.
She goes on to tell us that people aren't arrested for what they say, so free speech still exists. And while that is technically true, it doesn't address the public backlash you can suffer for making the wrong joke or expressing an unpopular political opinion. In 2013, Justine Sacco made what she thought was a pretty obvious joke on Twitter. She was at Heathrow Airport on her way to Cape Town, South Africa when she tweeted, "Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." At the time she wrote it, she had 170 followers. By the time her plane landed 11 hours later, her whole life had been ruined. Yeah, it was a shitty joke, but a joke nonetheless. No, she didn't suffer any legal consequences, but she had her whole life turned upside down over a goddamn joke. Political correctness is absolutely a threat to free speech, and you'd have to be a fucking moron not to see it. Starting off the top 5, do you speak for your race?
Yo, Andy, we're gonna go get some lunch. Where's the best place to find some Mexican food around here?
I don't know, actually. I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah, but, you know.
Congratulations, Andy! You've just been made a race ambassador.
On November 16th, Franny & Co. gave us this gem. More sketch comedy, this time examining the horrors of people being asked questions based on their race and showing white guys how it feels.
So wait, you're choosing to be a race ambassador?
Well, yeah. Is that the sash? Do I get one of those?
You sure do.
This is awesome. Oh, I look so great!
I'm glad someone's taking it seriously.
Sweet. Yeah, I think I know a lot about like white history and culture and stuff though, so I don't think I'll get too stumped over there.
Wait, I have a question. Why do white people always ask me if I think in Spanish?
I mean, we all think different ways, you know?
And why do white people always think that I know black people that they know?
Well, it's a small world.
Okay, why do white people always ask me if my uncle's a terrorist?
I mean, anything's possible.
Why do white people like camping?
Not all white people like camping, okay? I don't like camping.
Do you know Adam Sandler? Could you introduce me?
No, I don't know Adam Sandler.
How come white people love recasting Asian roles with Matt Damon?
I mean, I don't know. That's a question for Hollywood.
Why can't white people handle spice?
I feel like you're putting all of us in a box.
How come white people love going on Tough Mudders with their coworkers?
I don't represent my entire race.
Why won't you just let us have this?
This is bullshit.
Take that, little white boy. This kind of video makes me wonder about Franchesca's home life with her white, though I'm sure quite guilty about it, husband. It also makes me wonder if she ate lead paint chips as a child, but that's a different topic. Thanks to overt racism and condescending douchery, this Decoded dud earned its place at number 5. Next up is the March 9th video, What if you farted every time you were racist?
We here at Decoded had a kind of weird idea. What if every single time someone was racist, they farted?
No, Franny, the word you're looking for is stupid. You guys had a really stupid idea. And as stupid as the idea was, your execution was even worse.
Hey, what's your name?
Cindy!
Wow, that's so exotic. What part of Asia is that from?
I'm from Texas.
Ah, namaste. Hey, are you the super? Oh, well, I thought because you were Latino and...
Steve's into you? Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't. It just.
Ooh, Trump's on.
Look, we all know we gotta stop those Mexicans with that wall that they're gonna pay for.
I have a juvenile sense of humor, so I can appreciate a good fart joke. And while humor is subjective, there's just not anything funny here. It's just white people being portrayed as incredibly dumb and Trump being called a racist for saying he'd enforce immigration laws with a wall. Even if we excuse Decoded for suggesting Mexican is a race, the whole video is just mindless drivel. I guess you can get away with that when your core audience is 13-year-olds and anti-SJWs looking for content to respond to. For phoning in the racism, this video grabbed the number 4 spot. On September 6th, Franny dropped all pretense and just offered up a video defending racist terms used for white people.
Are the terms cracker, white trash, and redneck racist? I wonder who came up with these phrases.
If you missed the video, allow me to spoil it for you. It was those evil honkies.
Let's start with cracker. While linguistic history is always murky, recent research has shown that in the 16 and 1700s, British aristocrats used cracker as a shortened version of cracked brains, or idle-headed, to disparage lower-class people as dumb and lazy. It was then imported to colonial America and used by wealthy elites to disparage poor whites. A letter to the Earl of Dartmouth said, "I should explain to your lordship what is meant by crackers. They are a lawless set of rascals on the frontiers of Virginia, Maryland, the Carolinas, and Georgia, who often change their places of abode." Basically, it was a way to disparage people as lazy, lawless, and most importantly, landless, which is a hoity-toity way of saying poor. So this term was started by rich white people to disparage poor white people.
See, I told you. Honkies. While Franny does go on to say the language changed and it became a pejorative, it really doesn't count because it was all started by white people. Using her logic, the N-word is perfectly acceptable since it started as Latin for black, with no racial connotation at all. It was simply the term for the color. But using the N-word isn't politically correct, and let's be honest, nobody really cares if you say cracker or white trash. Plus, this racist little shit just hates white people, and her bedroom talk would probably suffer if she couldn't use racist slurs. For being the most obvious example of Franny seeing what she wants to see, this video comes in at number 3. On November 3rd, Why Does Decoded Hate White People debuted on YouTube? delighting anti-sjws everywhere.
Finally, we're going to answer the question you've all been asking. Why does Decoded hate white people? Well, we don't.
Well, that certainly settles it. This video came out just a month after you made a video excusing racial slurs, but if you say you don't hate whites, obviously you don't. Who am I going to believe? You or my lying eyes?
There's overwhelming evidence that implicit racial bias is real, and institutional racism is still rampant in America and abroad today. Whoa, okay, talking about oppression doesn't mean I hate white people. The problem is it's hard to get mad at systems and institutions instead of taking these conversations personally.
No, the problem is that you use the myth of institutionalized or systemic racism to push a bullshit race-baiting narrative, and people are tired of that shit. For instance,
when I criticize the school-to-prison pipeline, lack of police training, workplace discrimination, or our court system, some people don't want to hear it or think about it. Let's use preschool, for example. In a study done by the Department of Education, black children make up 18% of the preschool population, but represent almost half of all out-of-school suspension.
When you put it that way, it certainly seems like there's some racism going on. But you lied about what the report said. Blacks make up 50% of repeated suspensions. The actual rate of total suspensions based on color isn't given in that report. What is given is the rate of suspensions for boys and girls. That shows us that despite making up about half of the preschool population, boys made up over 80% of suspensions. Obviously, this means there is systemic, institutionalized sexism against boys, right, Franny? Even if she hadn't been outright lying about what the report said, simply pointing to the color of the children's skin is meaningless. Any number of factors could be responsible for why one group is getting suspended more, and the only reason to believe it has anything to do with race is because Franny and other people who make their living off racial tension say so. For showing what a lying, manipulative cunt Franny is, this video earned its spot at number 2. That last video could have been number 1. It was that bad. But on June 8th, Decoded took a giant shit on the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
Have you ever wondered why people say, oh, I don't see color as a way to fix racism? Yeah, that doesn't work.
Actually, it's the only way to fix racism, but let's hear more of your stupid fucking opinion before we delve into how sad it is that you were the best of your father's seed.
Here's what I know. Talking about racism just creates more racism. No. First off, race isn't the problem. Racism is. And even if it was the problem, problems don't get worse when you talk about them, and they don't magically go away when you ignore them. Not true. I had 5 cavities, I ignored them, and all 5 of those teeth fell out. Poof. Problem solved. Colorblindness, while nice in theory, has no effect on structural and institutional racism. Racism is a system, and that system benefits certain people at the expense of others.
No, you dick dropping, that's not what racism is. Racism is judging somebody based on their race. While you can have racist institutions, that's not the only way something or someone can be racist, and it's fucking moronic to suggest it. The really sad part is that right before this, she went on for about 3 minutes explaining how race doesn't exist. You know what can't exist without race? Racism. It's like the answer was staring her in the face and she just couldn't find it. The way you end racism is by removing race from the equation. Racism literally cannot exist without race. But then how could Franny make her money? Yes, we can all see the color of a person's skin. It's impossible for me to see a black guy and not notice he has darker pigmentation than I do. You know what it means to me? Not a fucking thing. Martin Luther King Jr. had it right. What counts is character. Skin color is superficial. It has fuck all to do with what kind of person you choose to be. For missing the fucking point she was making and putting her pocketbook ahead of real progress, Franny helped this shitty video take the number 1 spot as the most moronic piece of shit produced by MTV Decoded in 2016. Franny, I really don't like you. You're a racist piece of shit, and I really hope that your husband fucks Lacey Green and you end up with an STD because of it. Can't wait to see how you top yourself in 2017. Sincerely, go fuck yourself. And that's going to do it for this one. Don't forget, you can pick up your very own Your Life Makes Me Sad t-shirt and mug. You can also show support for this channel through a monthly Patreon donation, a one-time donation by clicking the I in the upper right of your screen, or just by sharing my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I will see you next time.
We here at Decoded had a kind of weird idea. What if every single time someone was racist, they farted?
Your life makes me sad.